Today we're going to be making a salmon poke. Hey guys, I'm Gil Butler, the Primal Chef, here with another recipe from the Bioptimizers Primal Paleo Cookbook. Today we're going to be making a salmon poke. Now traditionally this would be made with raw fish, but I'm going to show you how to make one where you just are going to bake it, but ever so rarely, so that you're going to be able to feed this to people who might not like to eat raw fish, but you're still going to get all the great flavors of poke. So here's what you'll need. A ½ pound of wild salmon, a half of an avocado, 1 whole mango, 1 head of baby bok choy, or about 1 ounce, and a 1/4 cup of fried shallots. And those fried shallots are gonna be a separate recipe in the Primal Paleo Cookbook, so you wanna check that out prior to this one. This is gonna be served with a seaweed salad that we're gonna make, and that's gonna be made from a dried mix. So you'll find in the store, they'll have a bag of dried mixed seaweeds. You'll need about 1 cup of that, and we're gonna rehydrate it and then use it in our poke bowl. You're also gonna need a whole scallion, about 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame seeds, 1/4 of a lemon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. The sauce for that is gonna be a ponzu sauce, which is gonna be made of 4 tablespoons of coconut aminos, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and then 1 tablespoon of mirin, as well as 1 tablespoon of orange juice, freshly squeezed. All right, so we're gonna start with our salmon. We're gonna get that baked, and remember, we're just gonna go rare, because this is a poke style. So we have our filet here. Just gonna rub it with some avocado oil to keep it from drying out. And I'm just going to season it with some salt and pepper. Rub that in. It's gonna go in the oven, 320, 350 degrees, and it's not gonna need very long. We're gonna check it after about 5 minutes, especially if you have convection on. Quick, and we don't want it to be overcooked. So now we're gonna work on our seaweed salad. And this is gonna be something that you're gonna have to buy a dry mix of. You're gonna get different seaweeds that are all bagged together, and we're gonna be adding in our flavors. So you'll need about 1 cup of dried seaweed mix, or if you're making a good quantity, you can just put the whole bag in, but just remember, once we rehydrate it, it's gonna expand quite a bit. You're also gonna need 1 whole scallion, as well as 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame seeds, 1/4 of a lemon, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we have our dried seaweed here, and we're gonna add just enough water to make sure that it's totally covered. So it's not necessarily a measurement, you just have to eyeball it and make sure that it's physically submerged. And that's gonna hang out. So we just have enough water in the seaweed salad to make sure that it's physically covered, and we're just gonna let it hang out for a while as we work on the rest of our items. Okay, so I have my bok choy here. Just going to cut it off the ends. Now we're gonna get a little pan of water to a boil, because we're just gonna blanch this, which just means we're gonna throw it in just for about 1 minute so that it starts cooking a bit. We don't need it to be fully cooked, but we don't want it to be raw either. So then we're gonna have our mango. And you're gonna cut this up. So I'm looking for the core and then just slicing to the side of it. All right, so we're just gonna dice out our mangoes. There's a lot of ways you can cut a mango. This is just how I do it. If you have another way to do it, that is totally fine as well. So just making cross cuts in there and then using the knife to scoop it out. That's all we need. You can also cut off extra parts on the sides here, but we have enough for what we're doing. All right, so our water's at a boil here. So we're just gonna throw in our bok choy. All right, it's been 5 minutes. We're gonna check on the salmon. And we can go a little bit longer. It's kind of up to you how raw you wanna eat it. I'm gonna do probably another 4 minutes or so, just so that the inside is very undercooked, but the outside's cooked. All right, so our bok choy, you can see it has been blanched, and we're going to drain it, run it under some cold water, stop the cooking. Okay, so we have our blanched baby bok choy. All right, so our salmon has been in the oven for 9 minutes. That's it. It's a quick bake. We're gonna take it out, see how it looks. All right, there you go. So this is exactly how it should look. If this was a salmon fillet you're eating, it might have been a little less cooked than you'd like, but for this, it's gonna be perfect. So you can feel on here, it's still kind of squishy, which is indication that it's still very raw inside. But you know, salmon doesn't always cook super evenly, so this part's gonna be cooked more, this part less. Overall, it should be good. So we're gonna keep that out, let it rest for a little bit, and we're gonna work on our sauce. And our sauce is gonna be a ponzu sauce, and it's gonna be made of 4 tablespoons of coconut aminos, 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and then a tablespoon of freshly squeezed orange juice, as well as a tablespoon of mirin. So let's get those going. You're just gonna stir them up. It's a really simple sauce, but it's great on the poke bowl. So here's the coconut aminos going in. Lemon juice. And now we need our orange juice. And the mirin. All right, so just mix it up. Give it a little taste. It's so fresh with the orange juice, the acidity from the lemon juice, the kick from the mirin. It's great. It's gonna be great on top of the poke bowl. All right, so we're also gonna need some avocado in there. So we're just gonna cut this up. So we just need about 1/2 of an avocado, and I like to cut it. It's pretty similar to how I did the mango. So just making kind of cross cuts here, and then scoop it, and it can just hang out with your mango for now until we assemble. All right, so now we just need to work on our seaweed salad. So it's been soaking, and you can see how much volume it has gained. This was just a little bit, they look like crackers, and now it is fully hydrated and is increased in volume quite a bit. So we need to drain it, and then we'll mix in the seasonings. And once it's hydrated, I mean, you can smell it. It smells like the ocean right now, so you know it's good quality stuff. And when you see seaweed salad at restaurants and in stores, you might notice it's usually bright green, very vibrant looking. This almost looks dull in comparison. And I'll tell you why. Do you know how it gets that green color? Food coloring. That's right. Even at really fancy restaurants, the seaweed salad has food coloring in it, and that is what gives it the very vibrant green. If it is freshly made seaweed salad with all natural ingredients, it should be more like this color, but we can get the taste even better than that stuff. It will just be a color that you'll notice is different. Okay, so the items that we're going to put in the seaweed salad, we have about a cup that has been hydrated, so it's much more than a cup now. We're gonna do a whole scallion, a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, as well as a tablespoon of toasted sesame seeds, a 1/4 of a lemon, a tablespoon of rice vinegar, and then a teaspoon of salt. All right, so we're gonna get our scallion. Just going to slice that as thin as you can. Just the green parts is fine. Throw that in. Sesame oil. And you know what, we're not baking here, we're just making a salad, so feel free to eyeball it. It does not have to be exact to the measurements. Sesame seeds. rice vinegar. Quarter of a lemon. And lastly, just a quarter teaspoon of salt. Okay, so you mix that together. Give it a taste, because you always want to taste every step of the way. If everything tastes good separately, there's a good chance it'll taste good together. Little bits of crunch from the seaweeds. Got the smokiness from the toasted sesame oil, freshness from the lime. It's really good. It's gonna be perfect. All right, so now we're basically just assembling the bowl. The base of it, I love to do rice. You can use our resistant starch rice method that's in the Primal Paleo cookbook. You can use cauliflower rice. You can do shirataki rice. You can do no rice. So the options are endless. I just think if you do eat starch, the resistant starch white rice is gonna taste the best with this combination. So you can see we have that in the bowl here. Then I like to layer it next with the seaweed salad right on top of the rice. Then we got our bok choy, baby bok choy. Off to the side there. Diced up mango, you just put that off to the side too, as well as your avocado. Then your chunks of salmon. So when you'd be eating these raw, it would usually be diced up into squares. So I'm gonna show you here in about 1 inch by 1 inch or so. Skin optional, you can take that off. Got our salmon on there. And then of course, the fried shallots. I think I mentioned this is a separate recipe, so you want to do that first, but this is not one to skip. These are so good on top of this bowl, which gives it a perfect crunch and additional flavor. So you can just put those right on top. And when you eat it, you'll mix it all together. And then of course, don't forget it to serve with the ponzu sauce. And you can just take bits of that, spoonful at a time, and just drizzle it all over. All right, there's plenty more if you want more. But that is it for the poke bowl. You've got the wild salmon, seaweed salad, resistant starch white rice, fried shallots, chopped mango and avocado, baby bok choy. It is awesome, it is healthy, and it is ready for you. So look for the recipe in the Primal Paleo cookbook. I'm Gil Butler, the Primal Chef. You can find me online at theprimalchef.com or Instagram at _primalchef, and look for the Bioptimizers recipe book coming soon. All right, so this is our final product. We have our poke bowl, and we're gonna give it a taste, see how we did. You wanna get in there, every single layer is important. So you got your rice, fried shallots, mango, avocado, of course the salmon itself, the seaweed salad. That is good. The texture of the rice on the bottom is great. Then you have the crispy shallots that are on top, sandwiching it all in. The ponzu sauce with that really fresh and acidic kick. It's beautiful, beautiful.